Mark Hunt, Alistair Overeem on the undercard here for UFC 209. And a lot of hay being made on this one because Mark Hunt basically saying Alistair Overeem's a cheater, quote, just like the rest of the UFC. Alistair didn't like those comments. Obviously, what do you make of the bad blood here? And Mark Hunt clearly is still pissed off at seemingly the entire heavyweight division in the UFC.
Yeah, I spoke to him yesterday too. Boy, he was not holding back.
Wow.
You know what? I have to say, credit to the UFC for like they booked him for the media day and they just let him say what he wanted to say at the media day. I don't know how the UFC was supposed to handle it any other way, but they didn't get in the way of it, right? Something to
Yeah.
be said for that. But man, he was on fire. Look, um, it's just a weird spot to be in where you're suing your promoter and then they're not countersuing you, but they're trying to get the suit thrown out. And Dana White has to be on there on stage with him for the stare downs. Look, on the one hand, you say to yourself, Mark Hunt's a veteran. He's seen it all. He's done it all. Maybe he'll be fine come Saturday night. On the other hand, it's like, what a complete distraction that he has to deal with. A literal lawsuit. I mean, I cannot tell you. The way it works, you have to sort of stand in line for other reporters, and each one gets 4 or 5 minutes when market and moves on. Like there were 5 guys in front of me, and every single one of them, all the questions were about lawsuit, lawsuit, lawsuit. Didn't Alistair once get popped for steroids, which of course he has. Nothing else. It was not about the fact that people didn't realize this is a rematch. They've already fought before. That is not in any way part of the narrative. It is a crazy time for Mark Hunt and big stakes too, because he already lost one. This could be 2 in a row.
Let's talk about Overeem here because people remember, you certainly do, he came within an eyelash of beating Stipe Miocic his last time out to be heavyweight champion of the world. I mean, he was that close to getting that crown here in the UFC. If he beats Mark Hunt, if he's impressive in doing so, does he go right back up there to the queue, or does he still have to fall behind the Verdums and the Velasquez's and the Junior Dos Santoses of the world?
Yeah, I think he's still a little bit behind, only because those guys are still coming off of wins. Fabricio Verdum was able to get a win against Travis Brown, and Cain Velasquez, same for him as well. So they're in better positions now than they were before. But I will say this, Alistair Overeem. It's kind of funny. I don't want to stereotype the Dutch, but one thing that's interesting about the Dutch is that number one, they don't have nearly the same amount of problems fighting teammates. Again, some do. Like, it varies, but they don't. It's not like Americans who really
Right.
assiduously avoid it. And number two, man, like these guys. I mean, folks are going to realize the Dutch are outside of the Thai probably the best kickboxers in the world, and that culture over there, like they don't take. I mean, human beings are human beings, but they don't take knockout losses like we do either. Like they just seem to brush them off sometimes. It's kind of funny. And so, he suffered a bad loss against Stipe Miocic, but I talked to him as well. He is utterly convinced that 2017 is his year. He's going to get right back on the horse. He is going to get another title shot, and it's going to be his. Like nothing ever happened to him at UFC 203. So, to your point, I don't think it puts him in title contention. He's probably got some work to do, but he's not that far away. If one of those guys gets injured and he has a strong performance against Mark Hunt, man, anything is possible.